Okay, so let's start building the game, bigger number game. So first of all, a few basic things. So I hope you all understand how to open a project. You just have to go to File, New, click on New Project. Just select Empty Activity for now. As soon as you select Empty Activity, go to Next. Here you can give the application name of your choice, any name. Let's say bigger number application or my first application or any name of your choice. For now, just keep the package name as it is, like com example, whatever it is, right? Save location of your choice. Language you have to select Java, not Kotlin, and minimum SDK you can select, either 4 or 5, right? So for now I'm just selecting version 5. Then you have to click on finish. As soon as you click on finish, you will get this particular window, right? There is an empty activity. So if you go to Java, so we have already discussed there is a manifest file, Android manifest.xml. When you click on empty activity, there is only one activity in your manifest file, right? So we are not going to do anything with this for now, so just close it. You have to go to Java and go to the activity that is already created, right? That is main activity. Okay, so this is the default name which Android Studio kept for any empty or first activity, right? You are allowed to change this name as well, right? Okay, so as we have already discussed that there are two files related to activity component. One is main activity.java, which contains Java source code or the business logic or what the app will do, right? Similarly, we have another file activity main.xml, which tells you about how the activity or the screen looks like. Okay, so first let's start with activity main.xml and then we will go to Java code. So I am for now closing this project window. It is anyways lying down in the sidebar. You can anytime click it to open and again click to close it, right? Okay, now in activity main.xml you can see there are three different views in which you can open your activity main.xml. One is a code view, which is nothing but the XML code. Okay, another one is a split version where code and its corresponding design is visible, and the third one is design version where only the design is visible. On the right hand side you can see the emulator. Okay, so for now I am just closing the emulator. We don't want to run the application for now. We are actually developing it first. Okay, right. So since we are going to develop bigger number game, what I need to do is, so what is the game? It is a very simple game. You have to just write the name of the game here. Let's say bigger number, and also write me game. Also let me write game. So to write anything or to set the text, what you need to do, double click on that and it will come under common attributes text. Okay, we also want to increase the size of this, right? So again you have to double click it. Okay, then you have to go to text appearance, right? So in common attributes below text you can see text appearance. If you click on text appearance, you can see font family. You can change the font of this particular text. So I am keeping it sans serif black. Text size, you can increase the size. So let me put it like maybe 16 or 24, something like that. You can simply drag this window bigger in order to cater the entire text, right? This is a constraint view, so it will definitely going to come between the two walls, right? Okay, so in this way you can do a certain settings. As soon as you will set these things, if you see the split view, okay, the changes are visible here as well. See, text size we have kept 24, text we kept bigger number game, etc, etc, right? Font family we have set to sans serif black. Whatever you are doing, it will going to come in the XML automatically, right? So there are two options. Either if you know XML, you can go ahead and write the code in XML, otherwise you can just do changes in the design view. Okay, so that's why it is quite easy. Now second text I'm writing here is, this is a game, so instead of let me write some instruction which is related to the game. So you have to choose or maybe guess the bigger number button from the following buttons. Okay, so anything simple text I'm writing now. Right, so by default this looks like this. If you want to increase the size, you can go ahead. Again, you have to go to common attributes, text appearance, text size. So for now I am keeping it, let's say 16. Okay, and maybe I am also changing this to black so that it is quite visible. Okay, right, so this is how my application looks like. I have also put two buttons, left button and right button. Now since these two are text views, right, if you go to code, so double click, and if you go to the code, there are IDs set. Okay, although it is not required because most probably we will not going to change this text during runtime. Okay, so providing this ID is optional. Okay, but since it is there, let's kept it there. Okay, now there are two buttons on the screen that I just dragged and dropped. So if I again go to design view and you go to buttons, these are two simple buttons that I dragged and dropped. Okay, now I have to click this button. By default there is some ID set to this button. Okay, so if you go to code view again, you can see the first button name is button and the second button name is button 2. Let me change it, maybe left button. So I am giving a meaningful ID so that it is easier for me to recall it later on, right, when I am actually working on it. So left button and right button. So now the ID of these two button is left button and right button. Okay, but this has not changed anything. This is just related with ID. If you remember or recall, ID is something which is associated with the widgets. As soon as we will compile this particular app, all these IDs will going to store, in a file, a resource file, right? So I think if you remember, it is a Java file which stores. So this is the entire view of, okay. So now what we need to do is so we have given the IDs, right, proper IDs. Now when we compile the program, these IDs will get compiled and stored in r.java file, right? So we will see that later. Now there is one more thing, points here. So the aim is to actually make this particular game a little more interesting, so that as soon as the people click on buttons, if they actually click on the right button, they will get points. Okay, otherwise the person will not get any point. So yes, now this is quite important. We need important ID for this particular text view at least, right? So there are two ways. So either you can give the ID here. So ID is text view 4. Let me give some, you know, meaningful ID. So let me call it as points text. Okay, anything you can give. All right, so this is the ID. Now we have to refactor it. See, already the code is compiled with that text view. If you are changing the name after compilation, you have to refactor the things. Okay, now if you see the code view, it has been changed here, points text, right? Now see, I have changed this button, right button, so the things get little, you know, screwed up here. So for that you can press a refactor to get the things worked down again. Okay, all right. So now let me just set a little bit more about this. So I'm writing points and I'm giving some space so that, you know, whenever I edit it, it will come. Okay, or it will update it, right? So let me just increase the font also for this. So I have to go to this and I am making it, let's say 20. Okay, a little bigger. Yeah, and also put me this to black or something. Yes, okay, right. So it looks reasonably good. Okay, everything is set now. Now let's do the logic part. Okay, now what I need to do, first of all you have to think what you actually need. Whenever I will click the button, or before that, let me just run this app, okay, and see whether you know, the app, the changes that we have made in the designing part are visible or not. Okay, so I have run the code. The emulator is already on with the previous app. So what will happen, if you can see the last line of this project, Gradle build running, right? So the code is still compiling. After compilation, what it will do, it will first uninstall the already installed app in the device if the same app is already installed, and then it will reinstall the newer version. Okay, so just wait for a few seconds till the Gradle is building. Yes, so now the app is installing. Yes, so now it is visible, right? So the newer version of the app is visible on the emulator. Okay, now what we are supposed to do, so if I click the button, nothing is happening. Okay, I have just put it, you clicked it message. Okay, that I will going to remove. So let me first remove it. So let me minimize the emulator. Now whatever you need to do in Java. Okay, so for now what I done is button click, on button click, button one click, I am giving it, you clicked it. Okay, so this you know, okay, by the way, why it is not giving any error, why it is executing even though I have changed the name of the button? Because this is the function name. Okay, this is not the ID. I am not using button ID anywhere. I am using text view 3 ID, which is still as it is, right? So if you can see the code part, text view 3 is still as it is. Okay, no change has been made here, therefore the program is not giving us any error. The function name that I am using here, button one click, I can change it, but for now if you can cross check it, so let me go to the design part, or maybe this part, left button. I have clicked the left button. On click of the left button, button one click function has been called. Okay, so what I will do, let me first change the name of this function. So let me write it left button click. Okay, this is my function name, right? Now it will going to give you error. So this is not orange in color, it means it has not been used. and if you go to activity XML, it says that this is not defined. Okay, so this is not actually defined. So what I need to do, I need to write it left button click. Okay, alright, so similarly I have to make a same thing for right button. So let me just copy paste it, and instead of left I will write here. So I have to do something when the left and right buttons are clicked, right? And that's what I am doing. So there is no function defined, so you can write Android on click. So I'm just copying it, pasting it, and I'm calling right button click. Okay, now if you see the design view and you go to this right button, okay, attributes of right button, I hope right button click is visible. So on click, right button click, right? So if you do any changes, it is giving you some error. Okay, and the error is corresponding method handler public void button click not found. Okay, so there are few errors that will be resolved soon. Okay, so now let's go to main activity. We are doing the same task in here, but I don't want to actually change the text of text view 3. Rather, let's change points value. Okay, for now we are just changing points value. So the ID, if you remember, is something called points text. Okay, and let's set the text as points, and I'm just for now I'm writing left clicked, or maybe just remove points. Okay, otherwise, so I just wrote left click if the left button is clicked, and I will write right click if the right button is clicked. Okay, I am saving. I have to first stop the app which is running and then rerun the app. So if you see the emulator, the app is not running now, and now it is installing and launching, right? So if I click left button, it say left clicked. If I click right button, it is again showing us a right click. Now what is the reason for this? So let's go and check this out, right? So left click is working properly, but right click is not working. Okay, because, so can anybody guess the reason? Right click is written down here, see, on the top. Why? Because we have not changed this particular text view, right? So we want the text to be changed for points text, not for text view 3, right? So definitely the program will do as you guide it to do, right? It will not do anything by its own. So as you write it, accordingly program will behave. So I'm just increasing a font little so that it will come properly. So let me just stop the app and rerun the app. I have made the changes. Now I am hoping when I click left button, message will come left button clicked. When I click right button, message will come right button click. Okay, so left clicked, right click, right? Okay. So for now, let me just go to main activity, and yeah, this is it. Okay, now basically what we want, right? So this is a basic functionality where you can do something on button click. So when the button is clicked, you are able to change a few things. Now let's learn to make the actual number game app. What you want, when this particular screen will be created, you want some random numbers to be assigned to these buttons. Okay, and then when you click, it will going to check few numbers. Okay, So let's start making that app. Okay, so now what we want is, we want to okay, fine. Now what we want to do is, we want to find out or we want to set the numbers, right? So let me just close it. So for now, if I run the application, it looks like the button, there are only 2 buttons, right? So yes, so these are 2 buttons. What we want is, we want some random numbers on these buttons, right? Then only we can play it. Okay, all right. So for that, what we can do is, we have to first create the function. Okay, so first create a random number generator function. So public void, let's say assign random number. Okay, this is how we create functions in Java. Now we want to set the buttons also. Okay, first let's create random number. So to create random number, what you need to do is, you need to just make a random object of random class. Okay, equal to new random. So now this is created. See, automatically it has imported random, right? Okay, then we have to take 2 variables, because we have to create 2 numbers. Okay, so let me write left num equal to r dot next int. Okay, and inside this we can set boundaries. Let's say we want a number between 1 to 10, so we can just write the maximum value. Okay, similarly, let's generate another number, left num r dot next int, again values from 1 to 10. Okay, now this will create 2 random values, although it is not visible now, right? We didn't do anything to set the values on this. So now what to do is, we have to assign the values. Okay, so for now, for simplicity, I am just writing it on the text. Now if I have to change the text, if I want to change the text of any button, remember what we need to do? We need to do find view by ID. Okay, so we want to make the object of that particular widget. Okay, so button is a widget, button class object. Let's say left, I'm just writing left. Okay, equal to, and then I have to do typecasting in button, and then find view by ID r dot id dot, what is the name of my button? It should be left button. Okay, similarly I have to do it for right button. So you just have to remember this. Whenever you want to access any widget, you just need to find view by ID. You just need to call find view by ID and give the name. Okay, so for that you have to make the object of that particular class and do the typecast. So left and right are now 2 objects which are representing the buttons. Okay, so for now, for simplicity, let me just set the text. So left dot set text. Okay, now here I have to give the integer, but first I have to convert it, because set text will take integer, right? So I have to write string dot value of an integer. Okay, value of I think the number is left now. Okay, similarly I have to write right. Now this right is the button object, set text of the button object, and for that I am converting string dot value of. This type conversion is very important. So whenever you are getting error, when your application is stop working and you will get error like fortunately stopped working, etc., please check proper type conversions. Okay, So yes, the function is already defined. Now I need to call this function. Okay, so let me call it on create. So when the activity is created, the numbers or the value should be assigned for now. Okay, and let me now rerun the application. You can see there are no text on this buttons. Okay, so when the application reruns, see now there are two random numbers that are generated, 9 and 10. If I rerun the app, there are again a new random numbers. Okay, so for now I have just created this random number in the beginning of the application, right, when the application starts. Even if you can go back and I think, yeah, click on the application, you get different random number. As soon as the application or activity created, you will get different random numbers. All right, yes, okay. So now what we want, okay, so basically what I want is I want when I click it left. Okay, so first let me remove the text of both the buttons. Okay, so I am not writing any text. There are two buttons, okay, without any text, right? Now what I want is when I click any of the button, it should assign the random number, and then we will check whether the random number generated are bigger or lesser. Okay, so for now what happened is this. So I have put this assign random number from on create to left button click and right button click. What happened is your window is created, your screen will be created through on create. Then when you press left button, it will assign random number to both the button. We have already written the code of this, right? I hope this code is well understand. So from through these three lines we have created random number, two random numbers between 1 and 10. Then we have assigned those random number to left button and right button. Okay, so on click of either right button or left button, we can see our random number. So let's have a demo of this, a quick demo. Now the only job that is remaining is we have to check whether the number is, which number is greater, and accordingly we have to assign the marks. Okay, so right now both are not visible, so I can click any button. If I click this button, then these values are assigned. If I click this button, then again some random values will be assigned, right? Okay, so this is working. Now I have to check whether the button I have clicked will got the bigger number or not. Okay, so for that we have to access the number which is written over there and then compare it. Okay, so let's start doing that. So for that again I need to access both the buttons. Okay, so I need these two things again here. Okay, because I need the button and I can get the button only using find view by ID. So left button and right button. Now I want to get the text. Okay, so left dot get text. Okay, whatever text is assigned to it. Now I have to convert it to integer value because this is what I got in string. Okay, right? So if we want to do this, we need to do this. Now see in here, so there is some text written on button. First we have to convert it to string format. Okay, that is important. Although you may think that it is the string that we are getting, but please remember that you have to convert it to string. Okay, so I have written left dot get text, left button dot get text to string. Now I have to parse this to integer. Okay, so if I click left button, this is what my value is, and another variable, let's call it other value, is again I have to write integer dot parse int. In this I want to pass an string, so I want the text of right button. Right dot, right is a button. Okay, if you remember, you can see the object, right is a right button object. Get text, okay, dot to string. Right, now what I need to do, I need to compare if my val is greater than other val, it means I got a point, right? So I will say now I have to access the text view, right? So I need to access the text view of points, right? So let me write it here because I need to change the value of points, right? So points is a text view, let's say points, okay, equal to typecast into text view, find view by ID, which ID? ID of points text, okay. Now as you will going to practice, you will definitely learn all these things, okay. So what is the name of the object? Points. So I am saying points dot set text. What is the text that I need to set here? So I will say points. How many points? Now I have to create a variable, right? So let me make one variable here. It says int total. Okay, let me initialize it with 0. Rather than writing it here, I have to make that in create, right? Because I have to initialize the value by 0. Alright, if I assign the value here, as soon as I click left button, total will become 0. Okay, so that is the reason I have to put it there. And now I have to use it. Even I have to put it in the, I have to make it public, okay, so that all the functions can access it. So points will become total plus plus, right? I hope you all remember Java. This is concatenation, and I am adding, I am just increasing the value by 1, okay. Else nothing. For now I am doing nothing, okay, but we will see what we can do. Sorry, I have put, or for now let me remove else, okay, right. Now what I have to type in right button? Same thing, okay. If I press right button, what will happen? It will take now my value, so I just converting it. Left value will become other value and right value will become my value, right? And if my value is greater, I will going to increase it, okay. So let's for now run and see, you know, how much we are able to build this app. So it is installing, the newer version is installing, okay. So let me click this one, okay. The points are 0, all right. The point is 1, okay. If I click this again, 1, okay, 2, fine. Yes, it is working, right? So if I press a button, so 9 and 9, I will not get any points. If I click it again, 2 and 1, I will get 1 point, right? Because 2 is greater than 1. If I click this again, I get 1 point because 3 is greater than, etc, etc, right? So the app is working. What I observed is in the very beginning it is not working, right? And the reason for that may be, so I'm just clicking, let's say, right button, okay. Although I should get a point here, right? Because 9 is greater than 6, but I am not getting any point. But after that it is working well, okay. So let's see the reason. The reason may be I have to write plus plus total instead of this, right? So here you have to learn or recall little bit about the you know, operators priority, right? Yes, so now I'm corrected it. So 1 1 no points, 0 and 3, no points because I have clicked this one. Let me click left button, I get a point. Okay, so the app is working fine now. I just want to introduce one more small thing here, which is a small message. So if suppose I am not getting point, okay, let's type a toast or let's display a message. Okay, so to display a message there is something called toast dot, this is simple notification. Okay, make text. So I am just writing maybe better luck this time, right? So this is the message that will be visible. Better luck next time. Okay, and then I have to give the duration, toast dot length, long or short. Okay, so for now let me give long length. It means it will going to display for quite some time. Now there is some error, and let's see what's the error is. Yes, so the context is not there. Okay, so there are 3 parameters which the app will take. So in the beginning, the first the first thing is context. So we can write this means we have to show the text or this message in this particular app. Okay, so let me execute it and then it is quite understandable. I am writing it in both right and left button. Okay, and I am rerunning the app. So if I am not getting points, at least I will get a small message saying better luck next time, right? So suppose I click this, I think I will not get a point, but the message is also not displayed anyways. Okay, it is not displaying. Let me check what went wrong. Yes, so I have to type show also, right? So we have made the text but we have not show it, so I have to call show function. So this is quite, these are some small mistakes that we used to do. Okay, so once you will practice, you will understand that. Okay, now I got a point. Okay, let me click again, I got a point. Let me click left button. Okay, yeah, so I'm getting better luck next time. Okay, so when I get this message, see, this is staying for a little longer, right? If I click, yeah, better luck next time, because 6 is greater, so I'm not getting point but I'm getting this message. Okay, so this is how you can develop your app. So in this particular app I have covered many concepts. So we have covered how to make this user interface, how to put the business logic, what to put where, that is also quite important, right? So for example, total we have to declare like a global variable because all the functions are using it. In the left button, whenever you want to access any widget, you have to call find view by ID, and using that object you can access anything. Okay, we have also learned about type conversions. So these type conversions are all very important. Please make a note of this. Whenever you are getting an error, unfortunately close or something like that, 80% it is because of typecasting error. Okay, if everything else is right, then yes, so we have also learned a little bit about how to create a random numbers. So please go ahead and develop this app. Okay, all the best.